Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Taylor Jones. And do you have any idea what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? My name is Taylor Jones, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, TC Jones Edits, as well as another episode of Cold Man's Winter. And this time, what I'm about to do for this episode is something completely different. But before I even talk about it, let me say this. For those that didn't pay attention to the last episode or probably didn't watch it, don't worry. The link for the last episode of Cold Man's Winter will be in the description bar down below. So make sure you check out the link for yourself because seeing is believing. And with all that being said, for this episode of Cold Man's Winter, Season 4, I want to talk about the definition of what we all know and love, referring to champion. Now, when it comes to being a champion, you think about the gold ball, the gold medal, the gold trophy, and even winning a competition show like American Idol and America's Got Talent, and what else? Oh yeah, The Masked Singer, The Masked Dancer, Dancing with the Stars, and all that. But what really is a champion? Well, it made me think of the song Champion that was done by American Idol champion herself, Miss Carrie Underwood, with the help of rapper Ludacris. Because when Ludacris did his rap, he always had a way to explain things. Ludacris actually spelled out the letters CHAMPION, and N stands for never giving up. But sometimes a champion can have flaws too. I mean, people have flaws. They don't know where they're going with this. They don't know how to keep up with time. They don't even know who to thank, especially when it comes to award shows and whatnot. They don't have the time to thank God, because God's the one person that brought us through the hardships, and he deserves the credit. God does, because as you can tell, Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and all these things in his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Nobody understands how the thank God part works. But others we do for a daily basis, but in a society where 95% of the world is godless and 5%ers, they like to thank God, we have to fix that right away. So a champion, for example, let's just say that my mentor, Miss Paula Fuller, a local Jackson State representative, a resident, a former JSCC Green Jay, back when they were called the Generals, she won a championship in her lifetime. And it was a big deal, and she still gets recognition for the love and support that she has for Jackson State Community College. But when it comes to champions in the fictional world, made me think of the movie Remember the Titans, even though it was based on a true story, how Denzel Washington's Coach Boone taught the players that at some point you're gonna have to work things out in a time where segregation is coming to an end and blacks have to go to school with the whites. Hardships come and go. Racism still at its finest. You know what I'm saying? But when you lose someone which is a part of your life, that's like an automatic loss, an L for life, to the fact that when you see somebody buried that was in a part of your team, it's kind of like you're going to sing one last song for the person that's about to be buried 6 feet deep, referring to the end scene where Gary was buried 6 feet deep And Julius and the other Titans, they sang na 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 hey 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 goodbye. And you know it's tough. Champions also have to accept the fact that after the championship, they can celebrate, but they still have big fish to fry, big competitions ahead of them based on family and friends. And the question, what next? What's going to happen in the next season? LeBron James, he dealt with a lot. And everybody's still claiming that the so-called GOAT competition between Jordan and LeBron is like, it's still off balance. People believe it's LeBron, and he's my generation, but with all due respect, Jordan has more potential. I mean, LeBron, he had so many tries, but he's not given up yet. Jordan had 6, LeBron had 4. But the question is, who's the real champion? Who's the real GOAT in the NBA? Now, some of y'all will probably believe in Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry, because he won 7. That's the same amount of titles that Tom Brady has, and it's going to take a long time for somebody to break Tom Brady's records in the NFL. However, in the NBA, Boston and Lakers, rivals, the Celtics and the Lakers, LA versus Boston. They done tied up for the most titles. Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, they're only they did win 73 games over the 96 Bulls winning 72. But they still lack one title. Still lack one title under Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Dennis the Worm Rodman had 5. 2 back-to-back with the Pistons, back when Rodman was beefing against Jordan and Pippen because they were playing together. Detroit versus the Bulls, 89 and 90. But then 96 through 98, Dennis Rodman, he played with Michael and Pippen, the enemies from the 80s, the late 80s, to winning a three-peat in the 90s, the mid to late 90s. And I mean, sometimes when it comes to the word championship, you had your dance, you had your last dance. Michael had the last dance as a Chicago Bull in 98. And then after 1998 was over, after the last shot against Karl Malone, John Stockton, and the Utah Jazz, he moved on. He left Chicago behind. But then he moved on to Washington. He didn't win a championship for 4 years with Washington, but he did leave a legacy. But what about Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry? He won a couple titles with the Rockets from 94 and 95, along with Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon and Clyde the Glide Drexler. He actually reunited with Hakeem in Houston because they both played in Houston in college until the day Hakeem stopped going to school and moved on to the NBA. I mean, it's no problem, no big deal, but education is always important. I mean, who would have thought that Clyde the Glide and Hakeem the Dream would reunite in Houston, where they once played college basketball together to win a title together? Who would have thought that Big Shot Bob would win 2 titles with Houston, but then win more with other teams? That's the same feeling that he had with a three-peat with Los Angeles Lakers, and he won the final 2 with the Spurs, San Antonio. And dig this, Steve Kerr, he was a champion for 4 different decades, like what I mean from the 90s to 2000s to the 10s to the 20s, from athlete to coach. A champion right there, Mr. Steve Kerr. Kudos to him as well. From a Bull to a Spur to winning as a coach for the Warriors. And he did that again since last year. The Warriors against the Celtics. But still, that's not enough. In the NBA, the main GOAT that nobody want to give recognition to, even though they did with the sticker, with the letter, with the number 6, because that was his iconic jersey number. And for the first African American to pave the way, well, Earl Lloyd was the first NBA player in the NBA, and he was the first African American to win an NBA championship. But we're talking about the late great Bill Russell. He won 11 out of 13 championships in his 13-year career as a Celtic. One team, 11 titles. Not a problem. So what if he lost to the Lakers? So what if he lost to the either that or I think it was either the Lakers or the 76ers, because he and Wilt Chamberlain, they were back and forth. But in the 50s, who would have thought that he would lose to the Atlanta Hawks? I mean, Bill Russell, he didn't care about defeat. He didn't care about celebrating. All he did was cared about how the game is supposed to be played for his teammates. And Bob Cousy, he'll probably tell you for himself about Bill. Casey Jones would have. Sam Jones would have. Tom Heinsohn. Who else? Hondo, John Havlicek. But they, too, Celtic legends, passed away. But Bill Russell, when he passed away, it's like NBA had a big loss. They lost the OG, the champion, the OG, the original greatest of all time player that no one knew about. 11 titles. Who's going to beat that in the NBA? Who's going to beat Tom Brady in the 7 titles? Who's going to beat, who's going to beat the record of Jackie Robinson? Who's going to beat Willie Mays? Who's going to beat Bo Jackson to play 2 professional sports? A Raider and a baseball player. Now that's crazy. Who's going to beat the fact that, Stevie Wonder have multiple Grammys? Who's going to beat that? For a long-time Motown artist, but to leave Motown after 60 years in 2020, to move on, to come back swinging, performing with Chris Stapleton and one more, the sons of Boyz II Men member Wanya Morris, at the Grammys, to perform The Finish Line with Elton John. Who would have thought that De La Soul would be coming back to the Billboard charts after the passing of Trugoy the Dove with their debut album, 3 Feet High and Rising? Who would have thought to see that moment come true? Now that's a championship move right there. Who would have thought that Milan Bulldogs would have a powerful run in football from 1971 to 1977 to 1998 to 1999? Ask Uncle Philip Taylor. He'll tell you about his journey as a champion, a 2-time champion for the Milan Bulldogs. This is real life we're talking about. We're talking about real life champions. I mean, What do champions do? I mean, after defeating a team, one person from the championship team, they would have to come to a loser, have an emotional moment, tears, a hug, like a handshake. You did your you did your best. I'm proud of you making this far. I mean, who did that for the Milan Bulldogs basketball boys last year? After 80 years, we went to the mothership, but we lost to a team that beat us, and this was their first time winning a gold ball. East Nashville, that is. Who would have thought that the Humboldt Vikings would win a championship in 2013? Who would have thought that we would make it this far in life with a gold ball? Have I been a champion? Not as much, but I did felt great, felt blessed to be a winner. Marlin High School freshman year class president, 2008 to 2009. But sometimes when it comes to losing, others, they take it personal. It's just a competition. People want you to shut the heck up. Wipe your tears. Get your A word. No, get your butt out your seat. Get off the bed. Move on, Negro. They want to give you tough love. And as well they should. But at the same time, too much tough love is going to get you hurt. It's going to get your own feelings killed. And Fantasia Barrino, the first female African-American winner of American Idol since 2004, she made a song called Lose to Win. Sometimes you got to lose to win the game. She ain't lying. Sometimes you got to lose to win. After your loss and your coach screaming like a madman, you learn that. You take that anger and you put that in your head. Next thing you know, parents gonna get mad at you and they gonna ground you for losing. As if they were the players. Some parents will be like that. Made me think of when I talked about a movie from last season when it came to having a momager that expects her daughter to be a star, a winner. Ever since she was young, she lost a competition. Mama cursing like a sailor, mad enough to the fact that the woman, the daughter that grew up to be a star, she actually was not pleased with how her momager turned out. I mean, this is deep. For her to slap her daughter after her daughter was telling the truth, it's kind of like artists, they want to expose the industry. And people said that Coolio died last year by the big power, the Illuminati, that the whole shebang bang. All because, like, the man don't want us to expose his plan. The man don't want us to make it out, like, to free everybody. It's kind of like what made matters weird ever since the animated series Yo Mama so ugly, she made the Illuminati close his eye. The Illuminati pyramid. I'm free. Really? A lot of people do dumb things. A lot of people want to expose though, but I don't know how bad it can get. I mean, when you expose somebody for being a bad influence, they gonna have the last laugh and you gonna end up dead. Like, come on now, that's not good. Champions too can die though. You gotta remember that. They die with bad conditions. And the other individuals, they have to keep a legacy alive. Made me think of Marlon Wayans when he lost Kadeem Hardison on The Sixth Man, which is a fictional movie. Because back then, I remember, like a few weeks ago, my dad got on me, Like he's warning me that whenever you do episodes like this, you got to know that you got to keep it fictional. If you tell a story, keep it fictional. Keep it there. It's kind of like he's giving me the Will Smith, as in keep da 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 out your mouth. But instead of having an attitude like, the heck with you two. No. No FUs, no kiss my butts, none of that. No more shut the heck ups. No more, Dad, mind your business. No more of that. You champions ought to know now. Tough love is here to stay, whether you like it or not. Because my dad is a mixture of John Amos from Good Times, because you know John Amos don't play no games. And not only that, my dad is also a mixture. He's John Amos. He's an old man with nothing to lose. As James Brown once said, Papa don't take no mess. Meanwhile, Dad is on the Wesley Snipes side. Now, why would I compare my dad to John Amos from Good Times to Wesley Snipes from New Jack City? You know, sit your $5 tail down before I make change. And if I was what? Say it again. If I was what? And G Money. Let's say if I was G Money, like nothing. Yeah, that's what I thought you said, because that's what I got right now. I mean, Nino Brown, he was greedy and selfish. For those that watch New Jack City, you got to realize he was acting like the champion. He was like the king. But sometimes the champions, too, have their downfalls. Champions their lives come to an end. And this is like a message, a preaching. My dad is preaching me to be careful what you do, because imagine what it'd be like if my family members sued me for making up a fictional story, which is 100% not true. Although I'm just giving the picture, it's still wrong. You could use somebody's real name. No, you can't, because in the end of movies, like movie credits, the following movie that you just watched is fictional, fictitious. All the characters and events are fictitious. Any character or thing, object where the real name is considered unintentional and or coincidental. What the heck does that mean? That's on all viewers to watch and see for themselves, like what that means. Unless somebody had to play themselves. Stick with the script. Be you. You're the celebrity. You're the cameo in the movie. It's kind of like having her, H-E-R, Miss Belle from Beauty and the Beast, to play herself. And if I was in that movie, who would I play? Taylor Jones. Let's say I play a guy named Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill, and my cousin Taylor Stewart, he played my partner in crime, DJ Penny, in what could be the African American version of Alice in Wonderland. I'm a dollar bill. And I'm a dollar bill, I'm $1. Taylor is 1 cent. It's crazy like that, you know what I'm saying? But what about the champions? Who's the champion in every movie you see? Who's the champion in every situation you got yourself into? If I had to choose a champion in my life besides my mom and dad, or granddaddy, my minister, Charles Taylor, shout out to you, or Uncle Philip Taylor that I mentioned, and like my betrayal episode, Willie Pringle and his wife Olympia, cousin and cousin-in-law, who else can be my hero? Who's my champion? I could be my own champion too, because I know how to get out of harm's way. But still, I have a weakness. I have a flaw. Champions need to know their flaws, as in, if you ain't got nothing, If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't you dare say it. Don't you run your mouth. Don't you ever curse them out. And I failed to realize that. Because a lot of people, they always get caught up in the beef. And sometimes the beef, hatred towards each other, animosity, as DJ Paul would call it, Anna for short. Anna got me clicking. I ain't tripping. That's the attitude I should have. Anna got me. Look, I'm surrounded by all this Anna, the hatred. I ain't tripping. Just like one guy on YouTube told me, like I read it yesterday, when I responded to a YouTuber getting exposed for watching Family Guy as much. And I was like, long time ago I said, I told BHD, Blasphemous HD, kudos to you. Don't you worry about a thing, man. Haters are haters. You just keep doing what you're doing. And one guy said, Taylor TC, you're missing the whole point. And because of how I take things seriously, like, hey, who the heck told you? Like, but instead, to shut up this conversation before I do something stupid, it's kind of like you can't disrespect somebody because of how they oppose to your opinion. You may not like my opinion, but guess what? Instead of saying I don't give a dang or F you, you might as well just write this down. Like, say it plainly. So be it. And also another person from Facebook, he had a problem like based on the situation that the police chief that was responsible for the after the Tyree Fuller murder in Memphis, he was about to step out, like before the day he got fired. I said that it was going to come back and haunt him soon, and he was like, no, it's not. One random guy on Facebook said, no, it's not. Respond to me, dude. Like I said, people oppose your opinions. And it was like, you know what, man. And that's when I was like, this is America. And he got to have this nerve to say, so what's your point, genius? I'm like, who the heck you call? Wait a minute, Taylor. You better think now. That's not a champion move. Sometimes champions ought to see things the hard way. So what's your point, genius? And that's when I put the angry emoji, like, who the heck you think you is? That's how serious some people look at you, like they consider you a fool. They think they the big victor. And the females think they the Victoria, the queen, the supreme being. No. So how did I respond to that? How can I respond to what's the point, genius? And I said this. I was referring to a Childish Gambino song, and that shut up the conversation. Sometimes everybody, they wanna step on you. They wanna pee on your territory. They wanna mark it. They wanna mark an X. However, a champion would keep his mouth shut and or think before saying or doing. That's what a lot of people fail to do on a daily basis. And I admit, I have not been a champion. I have not learned how to grow up. I did not think things through. But all my life, I wanted to stand out. But sometimes I'm not standing out enough, so that means I got to do more. I got to talk to more people around me. I got to know when to make good friends. And if I don't like my job, I need to get out of here. Find something else. Get more money. Work a 9-to-5 job that pays more. My mama tried to tell me, I just didn't think things clearly. Now that's a false move. A champion would never give up that easily. Never end up depressed. Never. Because imagine what it'd be like if I was in a movie that I play a new guy after my high school was burned down by a bully who ended up going to the same school as me. I exposed him after going off with my shirt off, banging the lockers until I found a gun in my bully's locker and got him suspended. Followed by a death wish that's supposed to be based on my character. I figured it out. And then all of a sudden, I decided to go hard, like get out of dress code. As long as my jeans have a belt that's tight on my waist, no sagging, no hood on my head, no hat on my head when I'm in the building. And then I helped out the basketball team who has been 7 years runner-up. And let's say that their name was the Bats. The team was the Bats. We'd be swooping around the court. Sometimes swooping, a lot of enemies want to shoot us down, take us out. And one of the basketball boys that I worked with ended up getting killed. And I made it clear to make peace and speak my piece for a basketball star that actually ended up dead. And his mother loved my compassionate, my condolences. She loves my guidance. But he's named after a gang, a Piru, but spelled P-I-E-R-U, because his real name is Ruben, like Ruben stuttered, but he likes to eat pie. And in the fictional movie, my teacher, let's say that Candy Burrs Tucker from Escape played that role. She criticized me, and she takes my basketball and asked me where my downfall was. I told her from the very beginning of the movie, and she still thinks that I haven't learned a dang thing, all because in my mind she believes she got more confidence to the bully, and the bully is the one responsible. And the principal, let's say he was portrayed by Morris Chestnut, he believed in me. To the fact I asked him, if you wasn't a principal, what would you be? Since the day I gave him the gun and the death wish, knowing that my bully has got to be stopped. But the day before the championship game, let's just say that my school bully decided to get on the wrong track and try to track me down, to the fact that the principal acted like a police officer. The police officer ends up getting the best of Piru's murderer, who was the same guy that blew up my school, because he didn't pass, and he got revenge for the summer. And I had to spend my senior year, my last year in high school, at a different school. And let's just say that because I stopped dressing in uniforms and dressed up in natural clothes, as long as it's clean, school friendly, and no hemp t-shirts, no F words, no curse words, I'm trying to be like a champion. Like, fight back. You gotta fight fire with fire. That's what champions do, right? Think about it. My dad is a champion. I gotta learn more from him. I gotta learn more from Granddaddy. I gotta learn more from Olympia. I gotta learn more from Miss Paula. I gotta learn from Willie, Uncle Philip. Who else? How about my cousin Missy Stewart, Taylor Stewart, Aunt Beverly? How about anybody from Tennessee, anybody from Illinois, anybody that I knew and went to school with and went to church with? You know what I'm saying? Everybody that ended up as police officers and doctors and nurses and singers. And Dolly Greer was another reason, another example. The real folks, the real mentors, the real heroes, the real champions. And it's not just a Hollywood type thing. Celebrities, that's not enough. Look at the real folks, the locals. You know what I mean? Come on now. And with all that being said, if let's just say that Morris Chestnut played school principal, acted like a cop. He decided to get in his cop role and put the bully behind bars. Like he finally figured out what I was up against. And then my coach, let's say the basketball coach was played by Clifton Powell, Mr. Pinky, Mr. Chauncey from Menace II Society, and next Friday and Friday after next. Let's say that he asked me, because for a while early in the movie, I helped out all the basketball players. Like, I came up with some moves on my own and taught them back and forth, tit and tat, And they started to put it in effect in the basketball season, to the fact that I had to come to every game to support them, as well as my homework getting done on time. Because I got time to support the Bats swooping on the basketball court. And we have been undefeated, to the fact that we are about to head to the big dance. But instead of traveling from one city to another city that's like 2 to 3 hours away, we have it at our school, live and direct. But Clifton Powell, who plays a coach, let's say he asked me to play to take Pyru's place, since he's no longer with us. The bully is in trouble, locked up, and he's also going to be charged for the school arsonry after my fictional junior year. See, this is how movies set up. And in the end of the movie, you're supposed to have a championship move. So I play the basketball game for Pyru, and let's just say that I ended up walking away after I take my foul shot. I get hit, and I made one foul and one. And my and one shot, I just let it go. I don't care if I end up going to overtime, but at some point, sometimes one shot, you're gonna have to let it all go. So after I let the ball go, like I shoot it, I turn around as if I'm about to head to my locker, like the locker room, and swish, a lot of bats gonna run to me and pick me up, knowing that I did it. I made the final shot to honor my fictional friend Pyru, for his memory. I won the championship for my senior year, and everybody was proud of me. And in the banquet, the principal was there, the coach was there. They gave me the game ball, but instead I decided to give the game ball to Pyru's mother. Now, who's going to play that role? Well, let's say that Pyru's mother was played by none other than the lovely Mrs. Tamika Scott from Escape. If I could see Candy Burst in the movie playing my teacher, I can see Mrs. Tamika Scott playing Pyru's mother. Because Tamika Scott, she's been through a lot. But when she apologized to Candy Burst in 2017 at the Essence Award after performing Is My Living in Vain with one of the original OG Clark sisters, she did the right thing. To the fact that Escape sung another gospel song, Give Me a Clean Heart. Because that's what we all need. That's what all champions need, to the fact that after the song was sung, Tamika said, I love you. And they hugged. Tamika and Candy hugged with embrace. A tearjerker, a championship move. See, if that was the case, if that movie came to existence, based on what I'm talking about, somebody's gonna have the idea to make my dream come true. Because All they got to do is check out Coleman's Winner right here on YouTube. I'm trying to be a champion for my own YouTube progress, right? That's what we all need to do. We got to progress. We got to win. We got to make it known. We got to put God first. And with God Almighty, we can be able to go to college. We can be able to get married. We can be able to have our house that we always wanted. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle where the spirits carry me and calling me. I want to fly. Fly right into the future. In a sky full of people, only someone to fly. Does that sound crazy? Yes, it sounds crazy. Because Seal kept it real. First the Steve Miller Band, and then Seal. We want to fly like an eagle. That's a championship move right there, and that's what we love. We love champions. We love to be a champion, but it takes time. It's going to take more than Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions. It's going to take God Almighty to become a champion. And as Olympia sung, incredible God, he deserves incredible praise. Who would have thought that my cousin Olympia would go platinum? Even though it was a prop. I'm trying to put my family on the map. That's what I did. But even though putting your family on the map in a fictional type of way, that's not cool. That's a false move. You can be forfeited. You can be disqualified for it. Better watch what you do. Facebook, YouTube, and even around your own homies, your own ladies, your girlfriends, your friends, your crew, your posse, your clique. Even in games, because there's always a negative side of things everywhere you go. So be a champion and do it right. Be more charismatic, be more helpful, be more aesthetic, be more mind-blowing. Be mighty, be passionate for what you like, be more inspiring, be more, I don't know if obnoxious is seeing something positive, but be more outstanding, outspoken, be more of that, and be more natural. Never give up, be natural. You only live once, but you're gonna have to win the game. So be a champion before it's too late, because you never know what it's like when others be champions and you don't do a dang thing about it. With all that being said, thank you very much for spending your quality time listening to another lesson, a message from Coleman's Winter. And like I said before, the last episode will be the link will be in the description box down below. And we can't end this episode without mentioning this week's Sweet Lady of the Week. But instead, it's going to be Sweet Ladies of the Week, referring to 3 basketball teams that paved the way for West Tennessee for this year, 2023. Who am I referring to? And yes, there will be some crackers added into the soup, because when was the last time I ever mentioned a sweet lady who was white? It's like I've been putting African Americans on the map, African American females on the map, but I gotta whiten it up. I gotta bring some light. I gotta add some vanilla to the chocolate, the salt to the pepper. And I'm referring to teams from Martin Westview Lady Chargers from Martin, Tennessee. Sweet Ladies of the Week, number 1. Number 2, the McKenzie Lady Rebels from McKenzie, Tennessee. And third and foremost, finally, the Jackson Southside Lady Hawks of Jackson, Tennessee. And with all that being said, to all the 3 female champion basketball teams, high school basketball champion teams of West Tennessee, from McKenzie to Martin and Jackson, I never thought I see the day that I give y'all some light. You gotta shine on. This is your moment. Females turn champions. And because of that, I decided to name the episode Champions and tell what it's like to be one, to be a winner, to have gold. But in the words of an old gospel song that made me think of my cousin Missy Stewart, I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold, because Jesus is the reason why I'm a champion from day after day after day. And that's all there is. So anyway, for all you champions out there and wannabe champions trying to improve, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the notification bell and there will be more in stores. And stay tuned for next episode, because this next episode is going to be, well, I'm not going to spoil it. You won't have to see it to believe it. And with all that being said, this is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out. Kudos to all champions around the world.